and welcome back to Towering Pines. Today we are going to do an update video on our garden. We're planning to start doing these about roughly one every month, but we'll see how it goes. So I may mention things that we cover in more detail in other videos, and whenever possible I will link those in your video and put them in the video description as well, probably. So to start off, we got two large loads of wood chips this past month to put in our backyard for the Back to Eden gardening method, and we had some extras which we used to mulch our front area. So you can see here around our pines, which is where we get our name, there's also more wood chips back here and under that big magnolia over there. As you can see, we also planted 2 new bushes in our front. So you come over here and we have a new rose bush growing here in our front area. It was actually planted already back there near the front of the house, but when we put the wood chips down, we had to move it. And our other bush that we planted back here is a hydrangea, which you can see right here, which has these gorgeous blue-purple flowers. We planted this out here in the front, and you can see all these stumps sticking out, which were a part of this weird misshapen bush. They were a part of that. So we cut it back so that we could put in this hydrangea, which will hopefully grow up and fill the space. And that's it for the front yard. We're going to move to the backyard now. Okay, here we are in our backyard where, as you can see, we have a lot of wood chips around our yard. Again, we had 2 loads, so there were a lot of wood chips, which we used. We're trying to spread it further down the yard. Not sure quite how far yet. As you can see, we have some branches and stuff just scattered around. There's a couple from a tree that we pruned recently, and then a lot of them are from that bush which we cut down in our front to replace with the hydrangea, like I said. We just scattered them here to decompose and add themselves to the wood chips. And then we are actually planning to get a new load of wood chips soon to just go over the top of everything, because in some areas it was not thick enough. So as you can see, like right here, we have grass coming through, which we do not want. We need the wood chips much thicker here to hopefully kill off all of the grass and weeds. Another exciting thing back here is we have a bunch of just weeds and stuff that has been allowed to grow back here. And we did some research and discovered and looked back here, and we have a wild blackberry bush right back here with some blackberries growing on it. We did research, and they are safe to eat, and a couple people have tried them and enjoyed them a lot. I have not yet gotten to taste one that was ripe, so we're waiting for them to ripen, and should be exciting. Also, something else exciting we discovered back here among our weeds is this right here with the big leaves is a wild grapevine, which again should be safe to eat. I'm not sure if and when that will fruit. There is another one further down in the yard as well. So that's very exciting weeds in her back there. I'm going to take you up here because you can see here we have our tarp out. This is out because we were trying to get it clean and dry after we used it to mix the soil for our new raised square foot gardening bed, which we are super excited about. So we have some videos on how we built these and then filled them up with the soil mixture according to Square Foot Gardening's way that they do it. And then we covered the top with a very light pine straw mulch because the seeds need to be able to come through, but we really needed it to retain moisture better. Early on, we did not do as great a job of keeping it watered, so we put this over the top to hopefully retain the moisture better. We have planted seeds in like almost all of the boxes, the little like squares within the box, I mean. Nothing yet has germinated in this box, we're still waiting, but we have some very exciting things in this box. Especially back here are cucumbers, which are very fast growing plants. So they germinated and have grown very quickly, as you can see. You can see two different varieties. We have a Japanese variety back here and a Marketmore, which is a more normal, like you'd buy in the store, cucumber variety over here. We had, I think, 3 coming up in this spot and 2 in this spot. And we recently trimmed them down to 1, leaving the one that we did want to grow so that there was room. But we had fairly good germination in these 2 spots. There's one more here that still hasn't come up though. But they're fast growers, already has our first true leaves on both of these ones. And these ones are not far behind. One of our things we need to work on next is getting a trellis for these cucumbers to grow up along the back here. Some other things, we have marigold here and here, which are coming up. And if you look back here in the edge, we believe one of the seeds blew back there and hit the edge, and it germinated as well. So we may have to take that one out, unfortunately. Here in the middle, we have some basil coming up. A couple little basil sprouts. And over here, we have a radish. There were 2 other ones. I'm not sure where they are. One of them did like turn brown and die. We're not completely sure why that happened. Possibly not enough water. Like we've said, we're new at this. So we're just trying our best and seeing what happens. So don't know what happened to that one. And then down here, we have some lettuce sprouting right there. And with our lettuce, we're doing something interesting, actually. All 6 of these front squares are dedicated to lettuce, but we didn't want to plant it all at one time and then have a whole bunch of lettuce growing at one time and harvesting at one time, and then we have a lot of lettuce to eat at one time. So instead of doing that, we're doing something called succession planting. So we planted 2 squares of lettuce here. In 2 weeks, we'll plant another 2 squares of lettuce. In another 2 weeks, we'll plant the last 2 squares of lettuce. That way, your harvest is staggered, so you don't get it all at once. So like you get some lettuce ready to harvest and eat this week, and then some the next couple weeks, and it's more spread out. And we're doing the same thing with our spinach. So far we've had pretty good germination. Our only 2 concerns that haven't been germinating very quickly are our radishes, because their germination time is 3 to 6 days. And we've had 3 come up when we have 3 different squares planted with radishes and another one in that box, and we've only had 3 come up and one of them died. So that is a bit of a concern, not sure why. And also we have a summer variety of spinach here in this box, which has yet to sprout and is supposed to germinate very quickly at 3 to 4 days, which we are now on day 9. So we are a little concerned about the spinach, that it may not be coming up. Again, we're not really sure why. We'll see. So I'm now going to take you down to our composters. Okay, now we are down at our composter here, which we have still been turning it and adding more greens and browns regularly. Unfortunately, we are still having trouble getting it to heat up. It hasn't really gained any heat on its own. We're still working on that. One of the biggest things that may cause that is just not having enough mass pushing it in on itself to start it decomposing. So we're continuing to add to it here and hoping it will start to heat up soon. But this is kind of small. It's not going to hold all of our compost, so we actually decided to start a second compost pile over here. And this is under this old tarp, which is kind of broken down. In this pile, this is going to be a cold compost pile, which means we'll we're not going to worry about it heating up. We'll just let it decompose on its own time. It will take longer, and we're putting in some stuff that we're not cutting down as much, not worrying about, and just, so it will take longer, but hopefully this should help us keep up with the amount of compost that we can make. So we have some of the wood chips actually, and some like corn cobs, which will take a long time to compost. So this is a bit of a longer term compost pile. So that's it for now on our garden projects. This is it for the update for now. That's what we've been doing for the past month. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and we will see you soon. Thanks for watching.